How do you want me?
Why are you doing this?
What?
This.
I can't let you be, 'cause your beauty won't allow me. Wrapped in white sheets, like an angel from a bedtime story.
Hi.
Hi.
She hasn't called me yet. She called me back, but she had to go out and save a squirrel and dance fence, and she took the squirrel to the vet.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I told her, I said, you know what, people would do that in Maine? They'd shoot it.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many of them out there, they ruin houses. I don't shoot it because I don't have a gun and I don't shoot things anyway.
Right.
But let me go in the house that way. No neighbors hear anything I say.
What were you doing outside?
Cutting up some wood
Oh,
because it's chilly out here. So it's like 42 degrees right now.
okay. Oh, 42.
In my house is like 54 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Cutting up some wood so I can warm the house up.
Yeah, you're all out of breath, so that's why I was...
Yeah. A few years ago when I first got out, I get drunk and I call NBC. And I'd ask for the department that Chris Hansen worked in. And I didn't leave very good messages.
So what did you say?
I don't know. I was drunk and pissed off, and I didn't say anything threatening because I knew that could get me in trouble. So, but I think I remember one. I think I said, I wanted you and Xavier Von Erck set up a fight for me against you two in a ring and make it legal. I remember I said that on one of them. There was probably like 3 or 4 that I left. Then whenever I think it was like after the 4th, 5th time that I did it, they made it so that my phone wouldn't, whenever I call, my phone number would be blocked. So.
Wow, you annoy everyone when you're drunk, even NBC.
Yeah. Not a very nice guy sometimes when I'm drunk.
All the time.
Well, I don't hate him anymore, and I'm glad that he was there, that someone was there, so it stopped me from making a stupid move.
Yeah, I mean, you know now that he didn't do anything. I mean, he was part of a show that they were doing a story about this because it was a huge, huge problem. Huge problem. And I don't think people understood, you know, in particular parents and stuff, like how their kids were getting online, who they were talking to. I mean, if Kayla was real, her parents didn't know that you were talking to her the way that you were. They didn't know that you were coming over to their house. If that was a real situation, that's very scary.
It would have been very bad.
Yeah, it would have been really bad. And, you know, honestly, I don't think Chris, from what I had seen on the show, wasn't saying anything particularly bad. He was just asking questions. Basically, like, why are you here?
Yeah, well, it's actually not quite so much Chris Hansen that I don't like. It's perverted justice that I don't like. Because I know what they do. and I know why they do it, but they don't do it for the right reasons. They don't have that stand. Those people in particular should not be doing that. There should only be law enforcement officers doing that. That's a vigilante group. They should not be doing that.
Well, they didn't arrest.
What they do, but they do it the wrong way. They lure guys in that wouldn't normally do this stuff.
Okay, well, wait a minute. We're going to stop right there, because if you look at your own situation with Kayla, she didn't lure you to do anything.
I know that was all me because of my frame of mind that I was in. But I never would have done anything like that before.
The frame of mind that you were in was that you were attracted to a 13-year-old girl and you wanted to go over and fuck her. We talked about this before. And like I said, I'm not going to let you go backwards, because you're going backwards right now.
Well, I know exactly what you're saying.
Okay, so
I was going backwards a little bit.
Okay, so wait a minute.
I guess I'm just mad because
you're mad. You're mad at yourself. You should be mad at yourself. I mean, here's the way that I see it, Lorne, and there's a lot of different sting types of situations that are out there. So we can take the whole predator thing off the table, and we can look at something like a bait car, where the police department will put a car out on the street. They will either leave it running or they'll leave it unlocked with the keys inside, all kinds of stuff like that. They'll just leave it sitting there and they'll see what happens. And 99% of the population is just going to walk right by. They're not going to care. But then you're going to have other people who are looking for that type of a situation to steal a car, and then they're going to take it. So they're not luring anyone. They're not in the same way that perverted justice wasn't luring anyone. They went into a chat room with the name of a young child and the persona of a young child, and then they let the magic happen. They let people like you come in and chat it up, and there were a lot of people there who disregarded her. Even if they said hello, as soon as she said that she was 13, they bailed, because that was the right thing to do.
Yeah,
so they didn't lure you.
Done.
Right, exactly. So I think the luring thing, that didn't happen. It didn't happen. All of the other people in that chat room that didn't talk to Kayla or Disney Girl or whoever else was there, they don't have a problem, because they didn't talk to her. They didn't have the conversation that you had. They didn't show up at her house. They didn't do anything. They said, she's 13. I'm out of here. No way.
I know I was wrong.
There's
no doubt about
so they weren't wrong for being there.
But they're not right. They are not right on everything that they do.
What is it that they do that they're wrong about?
They go extra lengths to try to get guys to the house.
Like what extra lengths were there?
Like if you tell them no, they keep chatting.
When did you say no?
There's a few times in there that I said no. You didn't read that?
Oh, okay. I'll go back and we can look at it together.
Oh,
I never saw you say no. Well, we're going to, because you're basically exonerating yourself, and you're saying that wait a minute, and you're saying that they were the ones that kept pressing you. So I will be more than happy to look at the chat, and we're going to go through it together.
Oh God, I went through it with Winnie.
Did you go through? You went through the whole thing with her?
No, not the whole thing. I had enough. I couldn't stand it anymore.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't need to sit there and read all, 400 pages or whatever there were. It was a really fucking long. And quite frankly, Lorne, it was fucking boring as shit. Like if you were talking to a woman, so lame, I would have been out of there in 2 seconds. Like, are you anxious to touch my penis? I'd be like, you
okay, I don't need a recap on that.
Your fucking ass, because it's so stupid. So, but we're gonna look at this, because you have it. Wait a minute. Shut up. Shut up.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have it in your mind that you said no, and I want to find where you said no. Because if you
I told
did,
her
I would.
right out straight that I would go to jail for it.
Yeah, but that's not saying no.
I said no. I would go. I'm quite sure I said no. I could
Okay, well,
wind up
we'll
in jail
find it.
for it.
We'll find it.
And I think I said it more than once. I think. Quite
I don't
sure.
think you did. I don't think you did. I highly doubt it, because all of it was, I love you, my precious little princess. Here's my dick. Do you want to see it
Okay,
again before
I
I go
don't
to
need a
bed? So
recap.
you're going to get a fucking recap if I want you to hear
Stop
one.
yelling. Stop yelling.
You're going to hear it if I want you to hear it. I told you that I'm going to look at the chat and I'm going to find where you said no. Got it?
Stop yelling, though. You don't need to yell at me.
Well, you need to shut the fuck up when I'm talking to you.
Well, I hear your voice when you talk. You don't need to yell at me.
You don't need to stutter and try to interrupt me. You need to stop making excuses. Stop making excuses.
I'm not making excuses.
You are too. You're saying that they were there for the wrong reason, that they were luring you in.
They were there. They were there for money. They were doing that shit for money. They got $100,000 per show.
Big fucking deal.
That's a lot of incentive.
You know what? They deserved it for having to look at your cock for a fucking month. They had to put a lot of work in, a lot of work, a lot of hours to sit there and talk to you. And that's just one person.
Okay, so now that this thing is done, why is it that they need to keep pressing it?
If you have a problem with them directly for whatever's happening after the fact, go right ahead and do whatever you need to do.
Okay, well, this is the thing. See, one letter that I got, it wasn't just one letter. There was several different letters. And I know goddamn well it was from Xavier Von Erck. One got sent to me. One got sent to my brother Roy. One to my brother Paul. And one to my mother. That's pretty fucking sick. These are some sick-ass fucking people on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the members of Perverted Justice, they're not there for innocent reasons.
But, okay, so
for me to protect every member of Perverted Justice, I won't do that.
How would you be protecting anybody?
You know, for the ones that were there for the actual reasons, yeah, I would protect them. But I know Xavier Von Erck is not one of them. He's the co-founder of the fucking thing.
Okay, but what does that have to do with anything about what you got caught with?
Just it's because it's 12 years later. Xavier Von Erck did his fucking job a long time ago. He needs to leave people alone. He's been sued so many times because he keeps harassing people.
Okay, well,
and not just people, they're family members too.
Okay, well,
I'm not the first.
I don't know anything about that. And quite frankly, I don't really care. I mean, if you need help with something after the fact, that's a separate item.
I care because it's my mom that got a letter sent.
It has nothing to do with what happened to you to get involved with what you got involved with.
I know. I'm not.
To do. It has nothing to do with it.
I know that I was wrong. What I did was wrong.
Right.
I'm not trying to defend myself on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pissed off as hell because these fucks don't stop their letter writing and all this bullshit. Any way that they can possibly get a hold of me, to get me to call them and all this shit, and to send a fucking letter to my mom really pissed me right off.
Okay.
That went to the state police.
Good.
So
what are they doing about
all that information? They're still investigating. Every letter I bring in makes them do the investigating more. Thankfully, the letters have slowed down since I had the lawyer write the letter.
Well, that's good.
It's good. I still got that one letter. Somebody's still trying to fucking get me to call them like a bunch of fucking idiots. Do you see why I fucking break down and start fucking crying? Because I'm so fucking tired of this shit.
I understand.
I don't want these fucks contacting me.
I understand. Well, here's what I think. I think that when you were on the show, obviously you were shocked and you didn't know what to say. And you were kind of in a panic. So
Yeah,
I
I'd
get
say.
that you wouldn't have come off that well. You wouldn't have been able to really think about how to respond to his questions. You just wanted to get out of there, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
And so and then after the fact, you went to prison, you were gone for a while. Um, and then when you came back, eventually you went on the internet and you created your own channel, which was a good idea because then you can kind of show like this is who I am, this is what I do. Um, but the
But the
people who
video
were
of me explaining shit that fucked me all up.
it really did. It really did. Because I would have to say that everyone knows the answer to the question of why did you go there? And
Well, see,
you fabricated
that's
this
not what
whole story.
but that's not what I was thinking when they put out the question of why did I go there? Because all I could think was I just couldn't fucking think straight at the time.
I think what you were trying to do in answering that question was to try to minimize what happened and
Yeah,
again
that makes
try to
sense.
separate yourself from everyone else who showed up there. Like, oh no, I'm not. That's not me. I'm not that guy. And the fact is, we know that you were that guy. You were a predator. You were a monster. You were someone to be afraid of.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's really fucked up, and it's so scary because then it makes you think, okay, kids have their computers in their rooms. And like when you were talking to Kayla, you're like, get your dad to put a lock on your door so they don't come in.
Yeah, I know.
It just showed you how fucked, people can be, especially when they go on the internet and they think they can get away with anything. They think that no one's ever going to find out. And this is what happens.
Yeah, I
So,
know.
so I can't
That's
speak
the sad part. I
for,
know.
yeah, exactly. And I can't speak for every group. I don't know these people personally. I just know your situation. And I know that if they had fucked around, if they had, told you that she's 18 years old, and then you showed up to the house and she says that she's 13 and the cops run out and you get arrested, that's a different story.
Yeah, I know.
So the
But she told
reason
me she was
why,
13.
right, and the reason why they go about things the way that they do is to make sure that when you go to court, there's no question there. They can see that all of the words came from you and she just was saying, okay, that's it. She wasn't suggesting anything. She wasn't, there wasn't anything there. So it makes me really upset. It makes me really upset, Lorne, when you again try to push it off on something, try to take away a little bit of the responsibility and put it somewhere else and say, well, they tried to lure me. I said no. And the reality is you never did. And I will go
I'm
through
not
that
gonna.
chat. I'm going to go
I was
through the
gonna say go
entire
through that
thing.
tab because the
I will.
reality is I know I did.
Yeah. Okay, great. Then I'm going to find it. Anyway, it makes me really upset and that's why I start yelling. And that's why I get mad because Lorne, it's like, and this is the problem. This is the problem that you had originally when you're basically talking about um okay, I'm going to tell everybody how I got caught up in the sting. And then you go into this long, drawn out story about your brothers and your sister and how you gave them money. They didn't give anything back to you. I think there was food that was supposed to be exchanged and that never happened. And then you ended up in Nashville and you were so disgusted by your family that it put you in a bad state of mind. And therefore, had that not happened, you wouldn't have been in Nashville. You never would have been on the internet and you would have lived happily ever after. And that's just not true.
Well, I've never met anybody that lived happily ever after.
Well, we're not talking about anyone. We're talking about you. And again, I'm not talking literally. I'm just saying, you wouldn't have gone to prison for this had it never happened. And so, I think that that's where people get infuriated. That's why so many accounts were made making fun of you. I would have to be willing to bet that the people who are subscribed to your channel are laughing. Like, look at this fucking clown. Like, he's actually thinking that we give a shit about his singing, that we give a shit about anything he has to say beyond the truth. He's going to give us this sad story about his family didn't make him some food because he gave them money. And so then he all of a sudden is, talking to a kid. And that never would have happened if they didn't do what they did. So as you can see, everyone, it's not my fault. And that's what you were trying to do. You're just trying to garner sympathy from people. And there isn't a single person, except for other people in your position, who really are going to be sympathetic to that.
I never would have been sympathetic with it either.
So perverted justice, you can think whatever you want. The reality is, in your situation, they logged into that chat room and they sat there and you came to them and then you stayed there. So you may have mentioned,
I stayed there.
Yeah, you may have mentioned, I can go to jail, which would make sense because you knew what you were doing, was illegal.
Yeah, but for some reason I still fucking stayed there, and I'm mad at myself for not understanding why I stayed there.
But why you stayed there? I knew it was wrong.
I know, but I knew it was wrong, and I knew I didn't want to do it, and I still did it.
Lorne, I swear to Christ.
Don't get frustrated with me.
I'm getting frustrated with you because you did it again.
I'm frustrated with myself because I knew it was wrong. And I knew I didn't want to go there, but I still went there.
Don't say I didn't want to go there. That is the problem. You wanted to go there, Lorne.
I didn't want to be that guy.
You were that guy. So you have to acknowledge it.
I just hate it. I know I have to acknowledge it, and then I know I wanted to go there.
Okay, so then why did you say you didn't want to?
Because I knew it was wrong.
But why are you saying you didn't want to?
Because I didn't want to be that guy to do that type of thing.
But you were that guy.
I know, and it bugs the living fuck out of me. I know you get frustrated with me. I understand why you get frustrated with me.
Okay, so think of me as.
But I've been frustrated with myself for 12 years.
Think of me as the public, and this is the reaction that you're going to get. This is the reaction that you have been getting. That's the reason why. If you look at the comments on your videos, how many times are they just things from your chat log that they're putting back to you?
I know. It makes me fucking sick. The whole fucking chat log.
Yeah.
I sat there in jail and I read through the whole fucking thing, trying to find places that I said no.
And it never happened.
Jail for it. Yes, yeah.
It never happened, Lorne. Okay, hang on a second. I'm gonna see. Let's see here. I am at my desk. So.
Do you have the chat log right in front of you?
No.
Thank God.
But I will in a second.
Oh, God.
All right.
Do you have a file on your computer that says Lorne?
I don't. Absolutely not.
Okay. It was going to scare me if you did.
No, absolutely not. All right, let's see. So what is it that you think that you said?
That I could go to jail.
All right, let's look up jail. All right. This is going to be cool.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you that's going to be... All right, let's see. All right. I'm going to read to you the times when you said jail, okay?
Okay.
Okay. You have another 5 years of school, and you're going to go through a lot of changes. If I had you right close to me, then I would
Oh,
stay.
God.
Shut up. Then I would still stay. I would still say the same thing. But this is why I wish you were 18. Then you could come. Then I could come get you, and we could get married. But where you're 13, the only thing that could happen is I would end up in jail, and I know you don't want that to happen. Let's make sure we put it on the kid. That's a good idea. All right. And then she said, jail, what? And then it says, well, you're under 18 years old. If I did anything with you and someone found out about it, I could end up in jail. She said, why? I don't understand. Because the legal age for me to do anything with a girl is 18. You're not 18 yet. If I did anything with you right now and someone found out about it, the cops would put me in jail because you're not 18 yet. That's why it's not a good idea for me to be in love with you right now. And it sucks because I think
Oh, God.
I am in love with you.
Jeez.
All
What a fucking idiot.
And then it says, okay, so say I went on a date with you, then you would go to jail. Yes, because I'm 37 years old and you're 13 years old. She's like, that's dumb. And she says, I know it is, because two people can't help it when they care about each other as much as we do. Shut up. But
I don't want to hear that.
But I don't want to go to jail. And I know you don't want me to either. Let's put it on the kid again.
I knew you were going to say that.
And then she says, no, I don't want you to go to jail. I would cry. Let's find the other one. Shall we?
No, I'd rather not.
All right. So then a couple days later, let's see.
Doofy, watch out. Watch out.
It said, I'm going to find a good place to start. Oh, okay. This is the part where you wanted to give out your phone number, but you wouldn't put it on Yahoo because if the Yahoo police were there, then you could get in trouble. So you said, she said, I want to talk about when are we going to be able to see each other. I do too, but we can't talk about that in here. Remember, that's why I need you to use my PN, like as soon as we possibly can. And then she said, geez, my parents are here at night most of the time. I don't know why we can't talk about it in here. That's silly. And then you said, would you rather see me in jail? LOL. She goes, no. And then you say, okay, then, LOL. Then she says, how are you going to go to jail by talking on here? And then you say, go onto MySpace, and I sent you an invite to download MySpace IM. So do that, and we'll talk about it on there some. Okay, so you wanted to talk on MySpace. Oh, you said, you certainly don't want to tell them you're looking at your boyfriend's penis, LOL. Oh, this is the part where you're talking about the lock on their door. Let's see. No, the lock on her door.
All right. Okay. Well, we don't have to keep recapping now.
No, we do.
You're bearing too much into recapping it.
And then it's going to say...
It pisses me off. I don't need to recap it constantly.
And then it's going to say... Well, you wanted me to look at this because this is where you're going to say no. So I'm just pointing this out where you say no. And then you said... You also don't want to be telling them that you and your boyfriend are planning to stick his penis in your vagina while they're gone for 4 days. LOL, shut up!
You're not reading the part about the jail. You're reading something that it doesn't have to do with the jail.
I'm getting there. Shut up. And then she said, LOL, yeah, I think they would flip out. Then you said, yeah, a lot, LOL, and I'd end up in jail. Let's see another jail part. Let me see. Actually, that is all that you mentioned about jail. See if is there anything else that you want me to look up? What about
No, there's no.
Oh.
I don't
Why?
need to keep recapping the conversation.
Why? I want to
Because I've
find where
recapped it for 12 years.
But I'm trying to help you where you said no. I'm trying to help you find it.
Let's not find it.
Is it because it's not there?
I don't. Maybe it's not. I remember mentioning jail, that I would go to jail.
Right. And you would say LOL after that because you didn't think you would.
And you're trying to thrash me again with words.
No, I'm just saying what you said.
No, you're trying to get in punches. I know what you're doing.
Punches? Why would I want to punch you?
Yeah, gee, I wonder.
I would never do that. I don't want to break a nail. Because I think I would probably hit you really fucking hard.
Probably. You probably won't do anyway.
Yeah, I know. We looked at this a little bit and you never said no.
Anyway.
So now you know why people get pissed off. This is exactly the kind of reaction that you would get with really anybody. You can't deny what's there. You just can't.
I don't deny that I did wrong anyway.
You're trying to. It's the whole point.
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to deny that what I did was wrong.
What are you trying to do then?
I don't really know now. I know I was wrong. And nobody drove me there. I drove myself there. Nobody put my fingers on the keyboard. I did it.
Nobody took your dick out and stroked it for a 13-year-old, right? Nobody did that either.
I know you don't want me to miss a lick.
No, absolutely not.
I try to forget things that I've done.
You can't.
No, I can't. It's hard enough for me to forget them.
Right.
I don't need people to keep pressing in my brain.
Nobody's pressing it. It's already there, Lorne.
No,
and it's in my brain too. That's why it's so frustrating to me.
Well, let it be frustrating. Doesn't mean that you have to punch me every time I turn around with this shit.
I'm not punching you.
Well, every time you think you have got to get them words in that I said in that conversation.
I'm trying to help you.
I know what was.
I'm trying to
I'm the one
help you.
that typed the damn thing. I know what's there.
Well, you obviously don't because you're saying that you said no.
Maybe because I'm trying to intentionally forget things.
Yeah, you're trying to forget and avoid.
No, I'm not. There's no way that I can avoid it.
You're trying to.
I'm just trying to forget things that I said.
And that's why
I hate being that guy that said that shit.
Right, but you are that guy, Lorne, is what I'm telling you. And until
I was that guy. I'm not that guy anymore.
Until you can actually acknowledge it, until that happens, and you continuously go back, I know I didn't want to go there. Whenever you do that, you're going to get the same reaction, the same one. That's why people go fucking crazy over that video when you're crying about food and your family. And like, well, what does this have to do with you doing what you did? It has nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with the fantasy that you had. Period. I know that you hate it. I know that you know that it was really fucked up, but it doesn't diminish it. It's something that you're going to have to deal with forever.
It's not easy to deal with it.
I know that it isn't.
It's not easy dealing with the fact that I'm the guy that said that fucked up shit.
I know.
When they say there's little fucking shit that they say and you get their little fucking kicks in, they think I should be all fucking lighthearted about it, and I'm not lighthearted about it. It pisses me off.
No, they're not expecting you to be lighthearted.
I deal with it enough on my own. I deal with it enough on my own. I don't need people to try to get kicks in at me.
They're not expecting you to be lighthearted about it. They're really not. They know the reaction that they're going to get.
You know what the fucked up thing is? A lot of those guys on there, I guarantee you go look in their fucking background, I guarantee you'll find things that they've done probably worse than what I did.
No, we're not going to go there.
Well, yeah, I am.
We're not. Why? Because again, you're trying to.
Xavier Von Erck was after a fucking little girl.
I don't fucking care. I don't know anything about him.
He's the co-founder of Perverted Justice.
I don't know anything about him. I don't care.
Maybe that's one reason I'm so pissed off about perverted justice. Because I knew what Xavier Von Erich was.
Then go after him.
How? How the fuck can I do that?
I don't know.
Can't do that.
Okay,
The same
then,
thing.
but
Yeah.
but what you're doing is you're saying, I know what I did was messed up, but this person is messed up too, and that's where you're subtracting. That's where you're
I know what
subtracting
you're
your
saying
responsibility.
there.
Yeah. So that's what needs to stop. They're totally different. They are separate. So if you want to go after him, great. But you have to separate that from yourself. You can't point at him and say, Xavier, you're a fucking scumbag because you went after a little girl, when you should be pointing the finger at yourself.
I know, it just pisses me off. I'm mad at myself for doing something that I knew was wrong. Then I had to turn around and look at the guy that was involved in catching me doing something wrong when I know that he's done it. That's what pisses me off.
What proof do you have that he did it, first of all?
Emma was the one that found it. Something she found on Tinder.
Okay.
And I know I don't need to concentrate on him. I know it just hurts me worse when I think about that shit when I get my own shit to deal with. It's just.
In all honesty, it could be someone who created a profile named Xavier Von Erich, and it didn't have to be him.
I don't think it was. I think it because.
Well, how would you know? I mean, people.
I can't. We'll have to ask Emma to remember, because I can't remember exactly what it was that she read.
Okay. Well, I mean, the thing is that people have probably made profiles with your name too.
Oh yeah, I know they have.
So it's the same thing. Why would it be different for him?
I can't remember. I can't remember if Emma said it was.
You can't what?
I can't remember if Emma said there was a picture of him or something like that. Or the lady was telling who it was or something. Showed a picture of him or something like that.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, people have pictures.
I can't remember. We'll have to ask Emma, because she's the one that was reading it.
Okay.
She read it to me, but I can't remember everything that she read.
Okay. Well, maybe she'll remember. Maybe she won't.
But I know I need to stop concentrating on them. Just concentrate on me.
Concentrate on you. Absolutely.
I'm sorry I get frustrated. I'm sorry that you get frustrated with me.
I hope that at some point I'm not going to have to. Like, I hope that that's not the reaction that I have. That's what I'm hopeful for, because, I want us to have productive conversation. And I know when I get mad, you are going to get frustrated too, or you're going to get upset. And sometimes it gets the best of me, because when someone is trying to back themselves up with, information about other people and trying to make it, they try to create a smokescreen as if that's where the focus should be, when it's in order to take it off of themselves. It's total deflection.
Try to put it off on other people like it was someone else's fault. And that's not at all what I'm trying to do, because I know what I did was wrong, and I know it was my fault that I did it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think just some of the people that are involved with it is what irritates me. You know that Winnie talked to Xavier, don't you?
No, I don't.
When her and I first met, Winnie actually presented herself as case to me, and it was because of Xavier Von Erich. Xavier was telling her things to say. Winnie, he actually, I guess he made some threat or something against Rhoda, and when he was trying to make sure that he stayed away from Rhoda, and he even made Winnie watch him on cam jerking off to a picture of me. That's what Winnie told me. That's fucked up.
Yeah, that is fucked up. I mean, but she was also on drugs. So.
Yeah, I know, but I'm only going by what Winnie said.
Okay.
But I mean, she was in some house in California. Evidently, it was a really nice house because Emma went there and she went out to the concert with Winnie and I don't know who else. But they can Photoshop Casey's face on Winnie's body, I guess, and so they could show me and all this shit. That was fucked up. That was so fucked up.
Yeah.
That lasted for like 3 months.
Oh, did it really? You thought that?
Yeah.
So Casey was the one who was talking to you on the phone?
Because Winnie had her name on the internet. Had a message on my YouTube channel. My headset just went off. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, a little bit, but it really sucks.
Okay. Can I call you back in like?
Well, it's okay right now. Just make sure that you stay like
stand
that.
Still?
Yeah, stand still. Uh-huh. Put your leg up in the air. Make sure you've got good reception. Whatever you have to do.
Okay.
All right.
Put my headset on so I can charge it.
Okay. Fat ass.
I know what.
Oh, you heard me? I didn't know you would hear me.
Yeah, I heard you. Call me a dumbass. But you know. Winnie had a message on my YouTube channel for me. Her message, and she went on the name.
I mean, who the fuck knows what you're talking about right now? I can't even hear you.
You can't. I stayed in the same position I was in.
Did you stick your phone up your ass? Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Well, sort of. God, it sucks.
I know. That's why I leave my phone in one spot and have my headset on and move around.
Oh my God.
Can you hear me now?
Jeez. No.
Oh, great.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, radius, I can stay in this position.
Stay right there.
Okay, Roscoe, don't move. You stay right there. Your collar is helping.
There we go. Cool.
Okay. Winnie put a message on my YouTube channel, and Emma Emma would read the messages for me that was on my channel because I couldn't, they had already taken my computer, didn't want me on YouTube.
Okay.
And Emma read that message, which AKA was Winnie.
Okay.
And that's when I started talking to Winnie.
Okay.
Because she fooled Winnie, she fooled Emma for those 3 months until Emma found out.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
because Winnie was in the hospital, and
I see.
that's how the whole thing started. That was because of Xavier Varner, because Xavier held something against Winnie that had to do with Rhoda, that he put Rhoda's name on the internet or something like that.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
So, and so that you don't hate Emma too much, Emma saved Winnie's ass a lot of times. She literally saved her ass a lot of times.
I don't think I ever said that I hated Emma.
Well, no, you didn't say that you hate Emma, but before you dislike her too much, she saved Winnie's ass a lot of times. Just because she's Mexican. You remember you saying a wetback?
Me?
Yeah, you just said it the night before last.
No, I was saying that Winnie called her that.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know Winnie called her that. She did that all the time.
Yeah, but I would never say that. I don't think that about her at all.
Well, Winnie got better at it, though. After a while, she stopped calling her wetback, and she started just calling her bitch. so she graduated.
Oh, my God. Well, when Winnie calls you a bitch, that's actually kind of a good thing. She called me bitch all the time. That means that she loves you. Well,
because she must really love me. Every time I turned around, she was calling me bitch.
Yeah,
I was like,
I
Jesus.
know. That's
I
that's
told
what
her,
she called you to me too.
I told her, you do realize I have a name, right? She said, I know, bitch, shut up. So
Right,
what the
exactly.
fuck?
Exactly. Yeah, so I don't hate Emma. I think Emma's really smart. She's super pretty, and I don't have any problem with her. I know that she's done a lot for my sister. She is not an easy person to deal with. So,
Yeah.
the
You're no
fact
kidding.
that Winnie is still alive is a really great thing. And
It's a miracle.
Dan's pretty good too. I mean, I guess
Dan's really good at winning.
he's not my favorite.
He's
So
not your favorite. So I
no,
heard.
yeah, yeah, I know. Sorry, I know you're friends with him and everything, but he's kind of an asshole.
Well, I I understand. Just because I'm friends with him doesn't mean that everybody likes him.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
It's a what?
He's always wearing a tool belt. It's always a different color. Kind of weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He wasn't wearing a tool belt when him and Emma came here that night.
Oh, I'm surprised. You probably didn't finish bedazzling it.
Does he really bedazzle it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's the rhinestone cowboy.
I'd like to be a smile at some point. Then bedazzle me.
Yeah, he'll bedazzle anything that you want. Seriously.
No. No, I'm okay.
Oh, okay.
I'd rather be dazzled in other ways. But
Well, he'll bedazzle you in other ways too, I bet. Wink, wink.
not by a female.
Hey, do you want to take the phone out of your ass again?
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Is your headset all set?
Probably. It might be for.
I mean, this is torture.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeez.
Yeah, now I can move around again. I don't know how
God,
much.
okay.
I think it's probably like 2 hours time on it.
Okay, well, we don't
Usually
need that much.
when it turns blue, it's usually 2 hours.
Okay, good. Anyways.
Anyway, bedazzle me.
So, no, I don't do that. That's Dan's thing. I'm not that tacky.
No, you can bedazzle me different ways.
No thanks.
Yeah.
So, well, and they're not even verbal punching backs either.
No, they're not.
And I feel like that's something that you need to learn too, because I don't think you know that very well.
Well, I know it. I've messed up on it a few times because I've gotten too stupid getting drunk and taking my frustration out on other people. And what really sucks is I never used to be like that. When I used to drink, I drink social. But when I go over to Tony's, I don't drink social. I drink social, but I try to keep up with him, and that I know that can never happen because he drinks like almost 3 to my 1,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just such a stupid move going over there. Enjoyed going over to Tony's because it would be just like I would be able to go over and drink with Dad, because that's all Dad would do was just sit there and he drank. Where Dad would actually play the guitar. All Tony does is drink and smoke pot.
Okay.
So finally I figured that out. So it's not so hard for me to not go over Tony's now.
Well, there's other things that go along with it too. I mean, as far as Tony is using you for beer.
Yeah.
And
Dad used to do that.
And you end up getting into arguments with him and Wendy. You're not really welcome in their home. They just let you go there because you're bringing something to them.
Yep.
And then, and then it's time to go. So they throw you out and you drive home, risking your life and everyone else's that's out there while they stay home.
Yeah, nice and safe.
Waiting
for the next walk back.
Yeah. So, I mean,
sad.
So there's other things that go along with that too, of why that's not a healthy place for you to go.
Yeah, because they just don't give a fuck.
Doesn't seem that way.
They say they're friends, but they're only friends for a price.
Right.
That's what it's been like.
Yeah.
Sucks too, because they're not friends that I want.
Right. Well, good. So you've come to these decisions, which is great. You know, you're seeing that this isn't a good thing for you to do, and hopefully you won't do it again.
No, I won't do it again. I'm not going to be that stupid anymore.
That's good. That's really good.
So even though you've gotten really mad and frustrated at me, I do learn. Sometimes it takes a few smacks, but
I think you know that going to Tony's is not a good idea, and I think that's why after you're getting drunk, that's when you start to get mad, because you're not able to really fool yourself anymore. Because when you get intoxicated, that's where your inhibitions will start to go away. And the wall that you've been putting up in avoiding how you're really feeling is going away. And then you start to get angry. And that's why you start to lash out at people. You've done it to me. And I didn't do anything. So, you're feeling lonely, and you're feeling like you're getting fucked with all the time, and you're feeling like nobody legitimately wants to spend time with you. And that makes you mad. And so you start calling up everyone and basically telling them that they're assholes because they don't want to hang out with you, or they're off doing something else. They're not giving you all their time and attention.
It sucks. It sucks so bad, because I never used to. It used to take me an hour to drink a beer.
Well,
and I would make it take me an hour to drink a beer because I didn't want to get drunk.
Right. But now you do, because there's a lot of stuff that you're trying to avoid from feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the most unproductive way of doing it.
Yeah, I know.
And I think that's why that's kind of why people, I think, sometimes get involved in taking drugs, like Winnie. There's something in their life that they want to avoid, and they get introduced to something, and it takes the pain away.
Yeah, she told me how bad her childhood was.
Yeah. And so there's other ways of going about it. That's the thing. And unfortunately, sometimes people have addictive personalities too, and they're just going to pick up one thing after another. And as soon as they're able to avoid whatever it is they're trying to, and it makes them feel better, then they're hooked. Not only physically, because that'll happen too, but emotionally. They need to feel that. That's why when you're upset about something, you want to start drinking. And for some people, it's eating. There's a bunch of things that people do to make themselves feel better, and sometimes it's destructive.
Well, see, maybe that's part of it with Tony and Wendy, because Tony does have an addictive personality. Because he's a good guy to be around. He's friendly and he's fun to be around. But the problem is that he uses people.
Well, then he's not a good person to be around.
No, he's not a good person to be around. I mean, as far as he's a fun person to be around, he can be fun.
Right.
And happy. And of course he's happy. Everybody's fucking bringing him beer and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that boy's gonna die an early death, but more likely.
Well, hopefully not.
Eat some drinks.
Hopefully not.
Well, I don't wish death on him.
Right.
I just know how he eats and drinks.
Okay.
And smokes.
So, have you thought about talking to Tony and telling him this?
No, because he already knows how I feel. I tell him every time I've gotten drunk, I'd come back in and he'd be one of the ones that I'd lash out at. He'd be one of the first ones I'd lash out at.
So then what is his response to that?
Oh, he just tries to calm me down.
He just tries calming you down?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I calm down after I say everything that I want to say to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't talk to him until a couple of days later. I don't care to do that anymore. I don't care to go over and drink with him. I don't really care. I'll have something to do with him. If he wants to come over here and visit me, I don't want to go over to his house. I don't like Wendy. I haven't liked her for so long as I can't even remember when I stopped liking her.
Okay. She probably doesn't like you either.
Probably not, unless
Right.
I throw a whoopie pie and a Pepsi in front of her.
Yeah.
She's real happy. She's real happy with a big whoopie pie in front of her.
Okay.
No, you think I'm kidding? I'm serious.
No, that's fine. I mean, whatever.
She's got a thing for whoopie pies.
Okay.
That's something she definitely needs to stay away from because she kind of looks like one.
Okay.
Sad.
What kind of pie do you look like?
I look like a blueberry pie.
Why?
Perfect.
Perfect.
Blueberry pies are perfect. Okay, I'm far from perfect, but
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna just stop you right there.
You look like a blueberry pie to me.
You don't even know what I look like.
I know what your body looks like. That looks like a blueberry pie. And that's not my fault that I don't know what you look like. You still haven't sent me a picture.
Right.
Right.
And you also deleted the other picture, didn't you? Or did you lie about that?
I did. I didn't lie to you.
Okay.
I told you, I must respect you because I actually deleted it.
Okay.
If you were naked, I would have deleted it right after I saw it. But you weren't naked. You had clothes on.
Right.
I mean, certain spots were emphasized, but...
Anyway.
But I did delete it. I did delete it.
Good. Great. Okay. So, I think we kind of got off track there, but my main point of what I was talking to you about was you have to do it in a completely different way.
I know. Well,
and it's going to be hard to do. It's going to be really, really hard to do. But
yeah,
you can start to say, I realized that I was wrong. I deserve to be on that show. I deserve to be sent to prison.
And I'm certainly not going to say that I didn't deserve it because I asked for it. So I did deserve it.
Yeah.
As much as I hate to think of me being in that position, I did it, and I did deserve it.
You didn't want to get caught. I mean, that was the thing. You wouldn't have shown up if you thought that you were going to get caught.
Yeah. Sucks at the time that's what I wanted in my life.
Yeah, it really
now,
sucks. Okay.
I'm outside now, so you get really good reception.
Okay, good, and I don't have to hear your stupid TV.
All you need to do is tell me turn it down. I forget that thing is even on because anybody that I talk to on there always asks me if I can turn it down.
Okay, I'll have to remember that. It's really annoying.
That's what everybody says, and I don't even think about it because it's in the background.
I think there was at one point on the last time that I was talking to you, and I think that you were upset, maybe crying or something, and there was a moment of silence, and I heard the Old Spice whistle go off in the background.
Did you think that I hung up until you heard that Old Spice whistle?
No. It was like a moment. It was a brief moment. It was like perfectly timed, and I just heard that whistle in the back, and it was really funny. But I didn't start laughing.
Jesus.
But yeah, so you can kind of change stuff. You can change the direction that you've gone in. You're going to be giving a response that people have been waiting for all of this time. They're going to be able to look past the stupid videos that you've made, basically calling everyone else out for being a fucking loser, all that kind of stuff, but
I hated that I keep getting so mad about perverted justice. I really hated that I do that. I think it's just looking back on everything. It's still so upsetting for me that I got involved in it.
Well, it's a defensive thing that you're doing. That's why. Yeah. That's why, when you were confronted on the show and when everyone was confronted on the show, for the most part, it was. You can see like the eyes darting, like, oh my God, what am I going to say? How can I minimize this and make it so that what I was doing is going to come off as being okay? Like when you were saying the other day about, I went there because I wanted to make sure she wasn't going to get hurt by someone.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know how hard I could have possibly rolled my eyes when you said that? They almost
I
got
can imagine.
stuck. I almost was blind. I would never see again. They'd be stuck there. So, I mean,
can
it's like,
imagine.
yeah, it's like that kind of stuff. Or when you've said, like, I was looking for a place to turn around, and I got to the exit and there was her house. I'm like, okay, well, that's stupid too. I mean, none of that stuff ever happened. And so all that you can do really is just tell the truth about stuff. And it's going to make you feel so much better. Not everyone's going to like it, but a lot of times people already know the answer, especially when it comes to something like this. And when you come out with something like, oh no, that wasn't really me though.
Yeah, it was somebody in a fucking suit.
Yeah, or whatever, or the reason why I went there isn't exactly the reason why I went there. It was so clear, cut and dry. And when you start suing people like NBC, and you're going after Chris Hansen, and you're going after perverted justice, and you're going after, you're talking shit about the judge and the prosecutors and all that kind of stuff. It's just a mess. You end up looking really fucking stupid.
I know. Well, something's really irritating me about that whole thing, though. Maybe that's another reason why I was getting so defensive. Because I mean, when you only see a lawyer 2 times and it's to plead guilty or not guilty, then guilty, it kind of presses on a person.
Well, what would have happened if you pled not guilty? You would have gone to trial.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think would have happened at trial?
That's why I didn't. That's why I didn't want to go to trial, because I got scared saying that, like, maybe 11 out of 100 people usually win at trial in a federal trial, and it's like, well, that's kind of fucked up if it's supposed to be an honest justice system.
Well, they have to look at what the facts are.
Yeah, I know.
If you have a video of someone going in and robbing a store, and they get away, and then they go to their attorney and say, I want to plead not guilty. What are they supposed to do? What defense do you have?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So as far as what you're concerned with, you're basically saying that you went to your attorney, said that you were going to plead not guilty, then you met with him again, and they said you're going to plead guilty.
Wow, he told me to plead not guilty the first time.
Okay.
And so I pled not. But see, then there was my other attorney, my state attorney. He wanted to take it to trial.
But why?
And that's why I started looking so deep into it.
But what kind of defense did you have?
Well, he told me he could have gotten it for entrapment, and that's why I started looking at that.
No,
well,
that's not true. I mean, okay, so here's the other thing about entrapment. Like, I can give you an example too. When I was talking about when the police department sets up a bait car. So if they have this bait car sitting out there, and then right before they leave, they throw a bag of Coke underneath the seat, so that when the person gets caught, whoever stole it is now going to have a drug charge.
Right.
Okay, so that's a problem, right? So you can see how there's a problem with them stealing the car, but then tacking on a drug charge when that's not what the whole point was. It's not theirs. It legitimately isn't. The police put it there. That's what I would see as being an entrapment to get a drug charge. So I would love to know what you're thinking entrapment is in terms of you.
Well, it's not me that was thinking it at the time. It was my lawyer.
Well, you must have loved hearing that, though.
Huh?
You must have loved hearing that.
I did love it at the time. And actually, the deeper that I got into it, and the more I looked at it, there was a lot of things that were actually illegal that they did.
Like what?
And well, like I can't name them right off the bat. If I go through my paperwork, when you come up here sometime, if you want to see and go through my paperwork and look at everything that I've got, then you'll see a bunch of stuff. If I can find it, then I'll read it off to you. But I've got like a whole crap load of stuff that they did that was illegal.
Well, I mean, give me an
hard to
example.
remember some stuff.
I mean,
if
there was a bunch of stuff that they did, then
I should be able to pop it off my head. But the problem is I've got so much stuff in my head about the whole thing that I can't remember specific things.
Okay. Well,
I'm going to my box right now.
Okay. Well, why you do that? I mean, the point is that, you know, the people who were innocent, like the other guys in the chat room who didn't talk to this girl, they don't have to worry about entrapment. They're not the ones who got in trouble. Yeah. So if there was something illegal going on, they would also get in trouble. But they didn't.
I know. It's basically just stupid that I went there anyway. It was a bad decision on my part. It was stupid for me to do it. It's my fault that I did it because nobody else brought me there. I've got a big box of papers here. I'm not going to find it right now.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
I do. I'll take a picture of it for you.
Okay.
When I find it, I'll take a picture of the thing.
It's not going to matter, really. It's
no,
not
but you
matter.
asked me, so
well, I know, I understand, and I would love to, you know, hear what it is that you think that trumps whatever it is that you did.
Yes, that was just that. There was one big one that I found. I can remember what it was.
I mean, basically, are you looking for a technicality?
No, because it was. What the hell was it that I found? Oh crap! It keeps coming back to me, but then I can't remember all the words. Okay. Any person that induces, entices, persuades, or there's one other word that I can't remember. Any person that induces, entices, persuades any individual in the United States, property or territory, to commit a sexual act or something like that. To commit a sexual act, it's a criminal act, and they get X amount of. They either get a fine or an imprisonment, a fine or imprisonment, or a fine and imprisonment.
Okay, so give me an example. Give me an example of that. How did they do that?
They induced or enticed. They might not have induced, but they did entice.
How?
They didn't dissuade.
They didn't dissuade.
Yeah, they didn't dissuade anybody from doing anything. They encouraged them. Maybe that's what the other word was. Encourage, induce, entice, and persuade.
Yeah, but all the stuff that was said in there was said by you.
Right.
Right.
I'm not saying I weren't wrong. I'm just saying what I found.
Well, it's kind of like this.
You asked me, so I'm just telling you.
Well, I know, but and hopefully, if your state attorney ever brought that to trial, it would be shut down immediately.
Well, actually, that was a federal law that I found that under. I think.
Okay, well then your other attorney, if they decided to bring that to trial and bring it in front of court, hopefully that would be shut down immediately.
Well, it should be anyway because I'm the one that said all that stuff, and I'm the one that went there.
Right. Yeah.
So I do take responsibility for what I did because I should have been incarcerated.
Yes.
It should have been put on NBC.
Yes.
That I disagree with.
Yes. Yes.
That I disagree
Absolutely.
with. I'm going to tell you the reason that I disagree with that.
I would love to hear it.
Because the only other thing that I've ever done wrong in my life was no UI.
What does that matter?
So if they're going to put somebody on TV that does something like this, it should be somebody that is
someone who's a child predator.
I'm frustrated with it because I'm mad about being on TV.
I know you are. It's highly embarrassing. Everyone
It is.
who's involved in some kind of a crime, no matter what it is, doesn't want to be called out for it. They don't want people to know. It's it's the same thing like if people who get in trouble in their hometown and their names are put in the paper. And there's a lot of people who just go right there. I know I've done it. Go right to the police blotter who got busted, last weekend. And then you see people that you're like, oh, look at that bastard. I knew he was up to some shit. And
look at that dumbass.
yeah, and so, nobody ever wants to do that. But you deserved to be there. You deserved to be on NBC for everyone to see.
To be nationwide, worldwide. Why not be worldwide?
Yes. It's a huge problem, Lorne. They had to see all the different people that were involved in this. They had people who were going to college. They had teachers. They had
lawyers. They had cops.
Sure, they had all kinds of people.
And by the way, Mike Patterson, he was not a cop. I knew Mike Patterson when he was incarcerated.
Oh.
He was not a cop.
I'm not really sure who that is.
He's the one. He's the one that screamed like a girl when they tased him.
Oh yeah, I remember him. Okay. Okay.
He just gotten his private investigator license.
Oh.
He was not a cop. I don't know. Okay. From what people told me, he told them that he was a cop, and I don't know why the hell he said that. Because he told me he wasn't a cop. He was a private investigator.
Who knows? I'm not really sure. But the point is that, there's all kinds of people that you wouldn't know.
Yeah, married people.
Married people
that have kids.
Yeah, people who have kids as well, grandparents. People that are trusted by their families. I mean, that's what the problem is that there are double lives going on, and somebody was getting hurt in the process.
I'm going to be, as much as I hate it and hate the thought that I was involved in it, it was really probably the best thing that could have happened to me at the time, because it not only would have saved lives, but it probably also saved my life. Mm-hmm. I was in such a downhill spiral so fast that I weren't paying attention to anything I was doing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I can guarantee you that if Kayla was real and you went and had sex with her, there was going to be another one too.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it, because I would have gotten away with it once.
Right.
Sad as it is for me to say it.
But it's the truth.
It's the truth. At the time, it would have been the truth. Mm-hmm. Because I was so far gone, everything that I was doing.
Well, even the fantasy was there before you were so far gone. You know what I mean? Like, that started way before.
Yeah. I remember we talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean.
And that sucks. That sucks so bad.
Yeah, it does. I mean, because you can't control what your fantasy is. It's just something that turned you on. You can't control that part.
And that sucked.
Yeah.
I hated that.
It's the engaging in it that becomes the problem. Even when it comes to people who have child pornography, they think, okay, well, I'm not going to have sex with the kids, but I'm going to look at pornography that features kids. That's a problem because a kid is getting hurt there. I
know they're a victim. Somebody had to hurt that kid in order to get that picture.
Absolutely.
Then they put it on the internet, and it's all around the world, and it never goes off the internet.
Yeah.
It's
really right. It's a disgusting thing.
And that's what I was telling you about that picture. Seeing that picture that was sent to me, it bothered me a lot. And I deleted it as soon as I saw it. And I didn't know it doesn't go off the computer. I mean, it told me about that, but 'Cause I didn't
Well,
know
you're
what
lucky
cookies
they
were and
didn't
all that
find
crap.
it. Did they find it?
I don't know. They've got my computer. So they must have gone through my computer.
Well, they would have done it already.
Oh, they must have found it then, 'cause they.
Well, they
must have-
probably didn't. Most likely, they probably didn't find it for whatever reason. I have no idea. But I mean,
But I received it from someone. I didn't distribute it.
well, that's good. It's good that you didn't send it to anyone else.
I was pretty disgusted by it. And then I turned around and
And then you kept
Okay.
going with Kayla.
yeah.
And I think you
bothers
even
me.
said that you wanted to take pictures with Kayla.
Yeah, I think it did too.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I don't remember if I meant naked. I don't know. I probably did. I wouldn't doubt it.
I think that you did. I know that you did.
I know I hated being that far gone. I hated myself then. I hated what I did to Betty. That was one of the biggest things that was bothering me when I left. I didn't know what to do. I was so fucking messed up. It was unbelievable. That's why when I talk about my family and what my family did to me, that's what messed me up, because I thought the world of my family. And all I cared about was helping them. And the stuff that they did to me hurt me.
I understand. I'm sure that it did. And
The saddest thing is that Tony was the only one that apologized to me.
they're just separate things, you know. They're separate things. And
Yeah,
when
I know. I turned around and hurt somebody else even worse.
yeah. You know, that makes me sad. And I'm glad that you were honest about it. But it makes me sad. I guess I was really hoping that you were going to feel sad about what you were actually doing to Kayla before you showed up at the house.
Well, I did everything wrong to her.
Well, I know that you did, but you
Read the
said
chat
that
log.
I know. But what you said was that you got mad at yourself when Chris Hansen came out.
Well, I did, because I never wanted to be a person to do something like that.
Right. You didn't want to be, because you know what that means. You know what it means to be a predator who goes after a kid. What everyone else is going to think about that.
Yeah.
But that wasn't, the deterrent wasn't, I don't want to hurt a kid. That's the part that makes me sad.
Because I was so selfish and thoughtless and heartless at the time that I wasn't thinking about anybody, including myself. I wasn't thinking about me.
Well, no, you were thinking about yourself.
Well, I couldn't have been thinking about myself too much. I wasn't thinking about my future, what it was going to do to me.
Yeah, but you didn't think that you were going to get caught.
Yeah, so I was being selfish.
Yeah. So you were only thinking about yourself and your dick.
Yeah.
You weren't thinking about the fact that you were damaging Kayla.
You know, that bothers me a lot too. That really bothers me so much, of how I cannot think about a kid when I knew what happened to me when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And how it affected my whole life. That's why I really one of the reasons I really get confused sometimes about, how could I possibly have done that? It's so out of my character and really sucks. I bet you didn't hear a word I said, did you?
I didn't. I'm so sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
I heard I was like,
yeah.
What the hell is that noise?
No, it was just
What kind of dog do you have?
A Chihuahua.
A little ankle biter.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting hungry, so I'm gonna have to go soon. Make him some
I already
dinner.
fed my dog.
Yeah.
See, if you had a headset, you could put your phone down and walk around and do things too.
Yeah, I know. Right, but I'm still not getting that, so it's not gonna happen.
Mine only cost me $80.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Mickey. So,
Nicky?
yeah, his name is Mickey.
His?
Yeah.
So Nicholas.
Yeah.
Because Nikki is a girl.
Yeah, I know. I call him Nicky. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't really switch that around with your name because your name is Debbie.
Right.
Deborah. So,
Right.
so I can't really say any guy's name that would be similar.
Right. So I gotta go. I gotta go feed him.
Okay.
He's getting hungry.
Do you want me? Do you want me to text them and ask her to send you that video?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay. Because I'd like for you to be able to look at it.
Okay. Cool. All right.
And we can talk about it some more.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go. Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye.